everyone, it's Carla here from Paint Me Vintage, Taryn's Vintage Craft Decor and Chalk Paint Shop. It's Sunday, so I'm working on a few projects, and I was just about to do some simple stenciling with a stencil and just some paint. And I know I said I'd do some tutorials, so I thought, well, I'll jump in here and this can be the start of our tutorials, because I will do raised stenciling and show you how to use chalk paste and other things like that as well. Yeah, so I have been working on this board, which you can't really see anything much yet, but hopefully, no, you can't see it. Anyway, it has a raised stencil all here, which you can't see, but I will show you how to do that in a different video. And I'll just move the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Oh, I really hope you can see that, because I want, yeah, I think you can see that. Oops, sorry. Cool. Alright, so here's my board here. I've already done a whole bunch of just paint effects and made this some colours. My raised stencil is here, which you can't really see because it doesn't stand out yet. And I just want to put some writing here, and I thought stenciling would be the best way to do it. So this is just one of our normal stencils that are made of a very thin plastic, which means they're completely reusable. I don't, as you can see, I just use them and I don't clean them. I only clean them if I'm using like a glittery paint or if I'm using a stencil medium. But if I'm just using normal paint, I just put them to the side to care for them, leave them flat to dry, and then I have a big suitcase. It's funny not talking. A big suitcase where I put them into so that they can stay nice and safe. So first thing I do, I want my stencil just to come here, and this is called French script, and this is a whole bunch of different French words from a kind of a love poem, and I just want a little bit of the stencil coming into here. So I'm just going to put it kind of into place where I want it, and then I'm just going to get some normal low-tack painter's tape, and I'm just going to tape it into place so that it doesn't move. And I did this painting on this a wee while ago, so I know that's not going to lift up or anything like that. And then another wee bit here, just put that here. This is quite uneven, so it's not really sticking super well, but it just helps keep that in place. And then I'm using some Vintro chalk paint. This one is a particularly thick one. This is old lace that I've got here, just in a creamy colour, and you don't need very much. I'm just going to put a little bit on my plate, just like that. And because this is really, really thick, so don't add any water to it, because stenciling is much, much easier the thicker that your paint is. And it's quite warm in here today too, so it's going to dry really quickly. And then I've just got a little wee stencil brush here. So stencil brushes are nice and hard on the top, and they're made that way so they don't pick up too much paint. So hopefully you can see all of this. I'm just going to dip my stencil brush into that paint, and then I'm going to wipe literally most of it off. So you can see there, most of it off, and or you can use a paper towel if you want to as well. And then I stencil with this hand because I'm right-handed, so with my left hand I'm going to hold my stencil in place, and just with a straight up and down motion. This is easiest for beginners. just load my brush just with a little bit and then offload it. I'm just going to stencil up and down with my brush. I'm pressing pretty hard, but there's not much paint on my brush, as you can see, because when I dip it into the paint, I wipe most of it off. This particular piece that I'm doing is actually kind of, what's like a kind of mixed media layered piece that I'm doing. So I've got lots of things going on in it. So this piece of the stencil here is just one small part of it. So yeah, if you're new to stenciling, because there are other ways, you can use a swirling motion if you want to as well. But if you've got something that's uneven or you're new to stenciling, I would recommend just pouncing your brush up and down, because that way you're not getting too much paint underneath the stencil by pushing it to the sides and making it what we call bleed, where you don't have a sharp image. So the other way to stop bleeding is to have it taped in place so it doesn't move, and of course with this hand holding it into place as well. So all those things, and using the right tools and a nice thick paint, means that stencil is going to stay put, not move around, so that you get a nice crisp stencil. So I'll put that down. I only want like a little piece of script here. So to check it, if you hold your stencil in place quite hard and then you can lift it up like that. Okay, that looks cool. That's exactly what I want. So now I'm just going to lift it straight up. Don't leave it on there. Don't let it dry on there or anything like that. And then I'll show you. I've just got a little bit of, hopefully you can see, some kind of worn looking stenciling on my board here, which is going to make up part of my mixed media piece. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's exactly what I wanted. Because this board is so uneven, you have to hold it in place, and also that means that the stenciling kind of has a worn sort of a look as well. So that stencil is nice and crisp, and there's no bleeding underneath, and I've got it exactly where I want it. Yeah, and I'm happy with that image. So I hope all those tips helped out. So that's kind of like stenciling 101 with chalk paint. And yeah, I hope that makes it easier for you, and give stenciling a go. It's a really great way of adding some details and just zhuzhing up a piece and making it a little bit more interesting. So next time I jump on, I will do a raised stencil and show you how to do that. Cool. So I hope you have a good Sunday. Really hot here, and I'm going to go back in the workshop and finish off some more things, and I'll talk to you soon.